Yo, what up, doe? I'm your host, Easy Motherfucking E. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm Red Death. Welcome to Nerdstas, where nerds are cool. Some shit like that. Anyway, happy Halloween out there in YouTube land. I'm supposed to have a guest today. Well, my best friend was going to be on here with me, and he canceled last minute. Then I was going to have another guest, a backup plan, and he can't do it. So here I am all alone on my couch. I choose to sit over here today because I was going to have a guest. But here I am. So yeah, I want to get into Halloween celebration. This is part two. Last stream I did a part one with carving of this pumpkin. Look, it turned out excellent. And second coat worked straight. I have it lit right now, but for some reason this candle's lit over here too. There's no oxygen in here or something because these flames are not strong enough for some reason. It's really weird. I don't know. There's no ventilation in this apartment building. We got the old school, I don't know what the heck you call it, it's like the beams inside the ceiling that heat this place. Kind of like you see in like a big factory. So there's no heat vents in here. There's no central air. We got one of those window or whatever you want to call it, air conditioners. But yeah, I want to get into Halloween today. Let's start with the definition of Halloween. Well, not the definition where Halloween began in Celtic times. Back in, let's see here. I got notes here for this part. So Halloween started about 2,000 years ago. And I don't know if it's in Ireland, but it says Celtic. So that could be Ireland, Scottish. Maybe they both celebrate. I have no idea. But it was a celebration of the end. I'm going to take my glasses off for this. It's celebration of the end of harvest season. Now I can't even read my own damn writing. But it's a celebration at the end of the harvest season. People dressed up in masks and lit bonfires to scare away the evil. People think it's a pagan holiday, like it's really evil, but I don't know where that came from. Unless they celebrate Halloween too, but every definition I found out was it was a complete opposite. It's a celebration at the end of the summer. Samhain, something like that, however you pronounce it, Hallows Eve. Yeah, so people dressed up to warn evil spirits off. It's a Christian holiday. The Christians brought it to America. The Europeans brought it to America, and it became what it is today, many years later. But that's all I wanted to touch on Halloween. I mean, like I said, it could be a pagan holiday, too. I don't know. If you know more about that, comment. Also subscribe, please. You like my outfit? I guess a group of us are going out tonight. A couple of my friends are taking their kids trick-or-treating, and we're going to this neighborhood where I used to trick-or-treat as a kid. Not as a kid, but I used to take my friends' kids. Me and my best friend used to take his kids trick-or-treating in this neighborhood and a city here in Mount Clemens. And they got this one corner, like everybody's at their houses decorated. It's pretty sweet, man. I love my city. My city's fun, the trick-or-treating. I don't even have, last year, me and my buddy just walked around. We're just messed around. We ended up finding somebody had a bar, like a tent with a bar at the end of their driveway, giving out free drinks. I walked out, I was like, how much for drinks? He's like, oh, free. I'm like, really? So, they had like 3 or 4 bottles and they just poured me whatever I wanted, but it was pretty fun. I used to watch this, show, Shaggy and a Creep. I might have mentioned Shaggy Tudo from ICP and St. Cloud Posse and Keegan the Creep. They used to have a show together, and they did a vlog where they went trick-or-treating in this neighborhood. I don't know where at, somewhere in Michigan, somewhere in a nice neighborhood. And when they went trick-or-treating, people started giving them beers. Well, giving Keegan beers, Shaggy don't drink. So they were giving out beers, and candy, and they're grown adults, like trick-or-treating. So I kind of got the same idea. I didn't steal the idea, but my city's pretty friendly. I knew everybody would be cool. I went to the biggest house in Mount Clemens on that side of town. Well, that's not a duplex, and they gave me a beer. As an old gentleman, I was like, "You got any beers by chance?" And he gave me a beer. It was pretty dope. So, it's funny about my costume. I was at work and I told one of my bosses that I was gonna be Easy E for Halloween, and he goes to one of the co-workers, a black guy, and he told, they were joking around, I guess, and they came up to me like, "Oh, you should go in blackface, blah blah blah." I was like, "Are you crazy?" I was like, "You trying to get me murked out here?" Like, I'm fine with just being a white Easy E. You know what I mean? I mean, people get the gist. You guys get it. You see it. Like, it's funny because beginning of October, I went to a Halloween party. I dressed like Easy, but I was a little bit different form of Easy. I guess I was more 80s Easy. Now I'm like 90s, got my Dickies and my flannel. I'm probably not going to rock this. Is 80s, definitely. People will quit rocking this in the 90s. I'm just wearing this for you guys. But I'm going to take this off when I go out tonight. And plus, you know, people might think this is real good, try to jack me. You know what I mean? So, sucks is I wanted my buddy to be here because my main topic, as you saw in the, what do you call it? In not the screensaver, what do you call it? Anyway, the title was Halloween and what he was scared of. And me and my buddy were going to talk about that. So I guess I'm going to be talking about it by myself here. So anyway, I'm going to talk about what are we scared of when we were kids and what are we scared of now, past and present. Well, when I was a kid, I was scared of everything. Literally everything. The Michael Jackson Thriller video. When all the zombies break in the house, man, that used to scare the crap out of me. I was a kid, I used to run and hide under the bed. I remember my stepdad used to scare the heck out of me. He used to do that shit on purpose. Like, I think he was just doing it to toughen me up. You know, he didn't want me to be a little wuss. I mean, he was around, my stepdad was around more in my life than my real father. So he wanted me tough, and which he did. I'm not scared of any human being. I mean, there's people who can beat me up, but I'm not scared of them, you know, but I'm not scared of a lot of things. He toughened me up that way by scaring me so much as a kid. And I was also scared of the Incredible Hulk, the 80s TV show. It might have been 70s too, I'm not sure. Technology was so slow back in the 70s and 80s. I'm going to mention that on my Friday the 13th stream. Technology was so slow. The 70s, 80s kind of ran together. But, what was it, Bruce Banner's Incredible Hulk's real name? I think so. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a DC guy. So anyway, when he starts to transform in Incredible Hulk, his eyes change color, and they used to freak me out as a kid. Like, I'd freak out. I didn't know about color contacts. I mean, nobody outside making movies had that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You couldn't go to a corner shop and buy colored contacts. Like, it didn't exist yet. You know what I mean? I think eventually you get them in a magazine. Now you can get them at certain beauty stores, like Local Boys. You know, I was a black and white devil one year. It was pretty cool for Halloween. And I wanted all black eyes. Like, I want my whole iris black and my pupil, everything blacked out, murdered out. So I got an all black contacts. Man, were those suckers hard to get. I don't wear glasses and never wore contacts in my life. Man, took me hours to try to get them in. I ended up only getting one in. I couldn't get the other in. Oh, don't mind the background noise. I got a motion pictures, scary things like a Grim Reaper thing, and it goes off with sudden loud noises. So you might hear it go off a couple times. But anyway, so yeah, I ended up getting one contact in, and boy, my eyes were red. I couldn't even get the other one. I tried. I should have had somebody help me, but I was on the way to a costume party. So yeah. So anyway, there's a bunch of stuff that used to scare me when I was a kid. I think as I got a little bit older, like pre-teenager, I guess 14, teen, I guess, you know, when you become 14, technically a teenager. There was a movie called Fire in the Sky. I don't know if you guys seen it. Check it out. It's a 90s film. One of my favorite horrors. Not super scary, but at the time it was. I got the DVD somewhere, and the back of the DVD says 10 minutes of the most gripping, terrifying scene. It was like towards the end of the movie, and it's about Travis. I forget something Travis. It's about the biggest alien abduction ever in history. Like this guy was like missing for like I think it was like a week or 5 days, something like that. And he was with his buddy. He worked for a logging company. He's working with his buddy, and they thought that they marked him like he was missing, and they couldn't find him. So these guys end up taking a lie detector test, and it all panned through. Everybody was telling the truth. One guy was a little shifty, but he was a weirdo. He didn't really like the guy that got abducted, but the scenes how they got abducted was crazy in that movie. There's a true story about it somewhere. I think I might have saw it on Tubi or Pluto. Travis something. What the heck is his name? Travis. I can't think. Anyway, take place in like Arizona in like the mid 70s, during the mountains. But like the real story, it was really more vivid than the movie. It seems like if you made what the guy word for word of the story that happened when he was on the alien spacecraft, if you would have put it in movie form back in the 90s, it probably would have been really cheesy. People probably would have really thought it was fake. So they didn't put a lot of his story into the movie, and I see why. I guess when he was in the alien spacecraft, that the aliens were controlling some of the humans' minds that were in there, so people were walking around like zombies. But that probably would have been corny to put in there, so that wasn't even mentioned or anything in the movie. But it's a must see. And when I saw that movie when I was a kid, speaking of my stepdad's gonna come up a lot in today's stories. Um, he lived in a mobile home park. Well, with his girlfriend, they lived in a mobile home park, and my little brother was always there. My brother was moving back from his grandmother's and his dad. They pretty much raised him. He didn't want to live with me and my mom because we were poor folks. Anyway, so he was living with his dad, and I used to go over there like almost every weekend. And I actually saw the movie over there with him. And the movie freaked me out. I was so paranoid after I saw that movie. So at night, there behind their mobile home, there was like a pond, real small pond. You know, you could hear the frogs and everything at night, and it was so quiet over there at night. All you can hear is the frogs, and for some reason, that just I don't know. It just after I saw that movie, every time I hear the frogs and like look outside of the sky, like just the stillness and just that little bit of sound, just I don't know, creeped me out. I thought the aliens are gonna come get me there. It was really weird, you know. That movie freaked me out for a couple years. But after that, you know, older I get, I was not really scared of anything, you know, in my teens, but later in my teens. But as an adult, now for years I was scared of dying. Like I was scared that I was gonna die or die in my sleep, and you know, and sometimes it'd keep me up late at night. I was scared I was gonna die. Older and older I got, you know, in my 30s, I was just like scared I was gonna die. It would keep me up. I don't know why. It's not scared of like where my soul is gonna be, but I mean part of it. You know, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. I don't know. You know, I'm a Christian, but you never know. You know, you never know. I gotta have faith. You know, in my religion. You know, if you believe in ghosts, I think you believe in your soul goes somewhere else, and I believe in ghosts. But you never know. I mean, so anyway, leading up to now, I gave up on being scared to die. And now that I'm 46, now that I'm in my 40s, I know I'm closer to death, you know, but like, I'm not scared of it anymore. I kind of embrace it. I feel like, you know, I did a lot of stuff in life, you know, had a lot of fun times, met a lot of cool people. So like that being said, like I'm like, okay, what more is there really to do? I know I'm still somewhat young, and I do look younger than I am, so I have a lot to live for, you know. But now with the way the world is in 2025, how, what is it, 31 Atlas or whatever, the so-called aliens on the way to Earth or whatever that is, and whatever it could be. I mean, there's speculation. I heard things are coming out of it, like probes, and they say it's moving at a fast pace, unlike any like asteroid or comet or anything like that. And I guess it's leaving a weird trail or something like that. So they think it's like a UFO like coming towards Earth. It's supposed to be here soon, I guess, in November. They're saying, but I don't know. What could it really be? I mean, but part of me is scared. Like I'm scared. Like, am I really? Is this planet gonna get destroyed by this thing? Or are they gonna wipe us out? Or you know what I mean? What is it? Is it just headed towards Earth to blow Earth up like a giant heat-seeking missile? Like what is it? Like I'm scared. I mean, there's so many things about aliens. I really can't get into it all. I mean, there's a lot. But they say they could live amongst us, look like one of us, or like change shapes. So that being said, what if this thing is coming to get the aliens already here? What if they're trying to get them out of here because this planet is about to blow up or something? Or they're just going to get them out of here. Maybe they're not even coming for us. Maybe they're coming for our resources. Who knows? I mean, but there's so many questions and nobody really knows. I mean, if this is intelligent being, nobody can fathom how these things react. They might not talk. It might be through their mind, telepathy. They don't. Who knows what these aliens are capable of doing or what's going on. I'm also scared, like where the United States, the way America is coming. I don't want to get political at all, but I just feel like it's getting worse and worse. People losing their money for food, and anyway, it is scary times. I'm not super scared like I was when I was a kid and the stupid zombies on TV. But like it's scary stuff out there. It's scary to live nowadays. It seems like. Anyway, that's what I'm scared of. Now, if my buddies are here, one of my boys, homie, whatever you want to say, whoever's here with me, we can talk about them and what are they afraid of, what they went through when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, okay, let's touch on there. Let's go a little more positive side of things. Halloween. So my greatest memory, actually, let me tell the story before I get to my greatest memory. This is kind of part of it. So here in Metro Detroit, the city, Detroit, suburbs surrounding, like I'm eight miles from 8 Mile. I'm not far from Detroit. 8 Mile is the border of Detroit. You cross 8 Mile, you into Detroit, and it's like the ghetto, the hood, till you get to downtown. But downtown's really nice, by the way. So on the day before Halloween, which yesterday, on October 30th, back in the day, I just found out today, or the other day, started in the 60s. A lot of people thought it started in the 70s. Maybe it did, I don't know. But it's been around that long, since the 1960s, I guess. The day before Halloween was called Devil's Night. Now, Devil's Night, I've talked about this with people. Some people might already know. If you're from here, if you're from Michigan, you know. Or you might be too young to know, because we don't celebrate it anymore, really. But I want to get to that. So, Devil's Night. In Detroit City, back in them days, people used to set houses on fire and, like abandoned buildings and trap houses and, usually not with people in it that are, like, not like families, but still, the fires spread. I don't remember a lot of stories, but I'm sure fire spread to, like, people's homes. It'd be like whole blocks on fire or whatever. So they did that down there on Devil's Night, at night. And out here in the burbs, close where I live, we used to toilet paper houses and throw eggs at houses, and, like, if the sun was out the next day, the eggs would be stuck to the windows, and it's a bitch to get off the windows, and and do other bad things, you know. But we didn't set nothing on fire out here. I mean, Mount Clemens is hood, you know, part of it's hood, but there's not enough abandoned houses to, like, set things on fire. You know, there are abandoned houses, not many anymore. So I noticed a lot of them got torn down, but like nobody sets fires over there, even back in Devil's Night days. Well, I think it was back in the like mid to late '90s. The news started like really getting involved, and a lot of neighborhoods were getting involved where they were doing neighborhood watches. So when they did neighborhood watches, you know, people started getting busted. The news got involved. Everybody kept getting busted, which is, you know, eventually it's a good thing. You know, arson's not good. So everybody getting busted, and everybody was getting scared, you know, of doing it anymore. But that wasn't really the problem. The problem was, like, the news changed it to Angels Night, you know. So they were trying to get away from that history and, like, pushing that away, you know, and they were really pushing at it. So I think early 2000s maybe, like 2001, 2002, something like that. Devil's Night became no more. Like, nobody did it anymore. Too many people got in trouble. The news was too involved. And eventually, the news don't even call it Angels Night anymore. It went from Devil's Night to Angels Night, and nobody calls it nothing because it doesn't go down in Detroit or out here anymore. And I know some of the youngsters are like, what? You know, don't know nothing about it. And so I think sometimes it's a good thing, you know. We don't want to glorify it. We don't want to push these kids to do it again. It's a good thing that some people don't know about it. Because it's only out here in Michigan, you know, southeastern Michigan, you know, near the city. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, so I think I was like 10 or 11 years old when I lived in a mobile home park. And when I was living in a mobile home park, 2 doors down was these girls around my age. They were like friends of mine. I wasn't really good close friends with them. They were just neighbors. So I don't think they even lived there. Their dad lived there. I think they lived with their mom, and they just like visit their dad on the weekend. Well, their dad was so cool. He had a really nice mobile home. They had a hot tub and like the closed off patio. It's a really nice mobile home or trailer wherever you're from. Same thing to me. So anyway, so he invited me over there, and they had bobbing for apples and all kind of food and everything, you know, for kids. And at the end of the party, he let us toilet paper his house. Instead of eggs, he gave us like these soaps you write with. I don't know if they still have that, but he let us take these soaps. It's kind of almost like chalk, but it was soap. And he let us write on the windows with it and stuff. And so, you know, so you can just spray it instead of eggs, you know. So he let us like trash the whole mobile home, front of the motel. We were taking, one person was standing on the other side of the mobile home, another person was standing over, and we tossed toilet paper and just like string the toilet paper like we were holding down the whole mobile home. That was probably my best Halloween memory ever, because it was on Halloween Day. It wasn't on Devil's Night. And yeah, I think that was probably my best Halloween memory. There's a couple other memories, but that one was probably the funnest when I was a kid, because he let us go rampant. It was so dope. Like I think I'm still a kid inside, so Halloween's my favorite holiday. You know, this is it, man. This is the whip right here. Anyway, I like to talk about the Halloween movies. As you can see, I got the Halloween 2 over here. Crack me a yellow beer, or yellow soda. This is yellow soda. My little basketball koozie turned into a pumpkin. Good old yellow juice. So, yeah, I got Halloween 2 over here. I want to talk about the Halloween movies, Halloween franchise. I'm not going to get into it like I did on Friday the 13th. I don't know as well as Halloween as Friday 13th. Halloween is one of my favorite horror films, though. You know, one of my favorite slashers. Mike Myers is cool. She's just like Jason, just not as strong. I don't know why people think Freddy versus Michael. Jason versus Michael. There's no competition. Jason's way stronger. You know, he don't get knocked down with a little revolver when he gets shot. You know. Anyway, so I want to talk about the Halloween franchise. Now, my favorite one, I don't like to do in top tier. I don't have a computer where we can do a tier list. I'm not going to really do that anymore. I might talk about some of my favorite movies in order, like I did with Friday 13th. That's kind of a mess, kind of confusing. I talk, you know, I'm from the north. I talk fast, as you can see. Anyway, so my favorite Halloween movies, H2O. That's the one with L. Cool J's in it, and Laurie Strode, the main actor chick, the chick. So anyway, I really like that. That one came out in like the early '90s. You know, a lot of '90s horror kind of does suck. Let's be honest, not as good as the '80s. Feels like it got too commercialized by then. You know, but dude, I really like that one. I love the scene when Michael's knocking over, pushing up she's the chick Laurie's running from Michael, and he's knocking over the big tables in that room, and there's like windows open with sheets flapping around. I don't know. I just love the way that scene is shot. That was so cool to me. I like that whole scene. So anyway, one thing I don't like about Halloween movies that there really no real order in the storyline. Not like Friday 13th. It's all in order. These are kind of like all over the place. Like the last three films was Halloween Kills, and Halloween End are really connected to the first one, I believe. Not even the second one. I should have Googled that before I went on. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it doesn't even take place on the second one, because when the guy's telling the story, I think that's in Kills. When a guy's telling the story, they caught Michael outside the house, like after Loomis shot him. He's like, I shot him. And he looked, his body wasn't there. Like, you can see the outline, it was kind of corny. You can see the outline where he landed in the grass after he shot him out the window. The guy told the story where the police caught Michael at that point. Like, they did a flashback. So I think that's where that one takes place. Now, it makes me mad because, okay, now Laurie's all paranoid. Jamie Lee Curtis. I couldn't even think of the real actor's name. You know, her name's Laurie Strode in the movie. So anyway, so after all these years, after that one incident, that one Halloween night, you're telling me all them years later, becoming an old woman, that she was still paranoid of Michael Myers still getting her after one incident. Now, it would make sense if all the incidents, like all the movies that she was in and everything that went through with her daughter and everything, now that would make sense, because in the new Halloween, she was paranoid. She had a gated home, you know. She was training to murk Michael Myers. Like, she was that paranoid for one night when she was like a teenager, that she just still has been training all these years. Like, she really thought, you know, he was going to come back when she's like 60, 70 years old. It doesn't make sense to me. It made sense if, like, you know, if the other movies existed. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why they did that like that. I have no idea. Even in the old Michael Myers, I think there was a different disconnection too. I think it was after H2O that they tried to say that really wasn't him or something like that. I don't know. I should have wrote this stuff down for you guys, but yeah, like I said, I'm not huge fan and even speculate on or, you know, really care that much. But I just don't like the way the films. There's like a bracket thing online somewhere that shows how they're supposed to be connected, but it's all over the place. It don't even make any sense. And you got Rob Zombie's 2 films that he made. Oh man, those movies were terrible. Those are worse. I think they were just as bad as the newer Halloweens. I mean, the first 2 new Halloween movies, the regular Halloween and the Halloween Kills, they weren't bad till they got to the end. Then the end was just freaking terrible, man. I don't know what the heck they were thinking, but I do still like those better than the Rob Zombie. People love the Rob Zombie. I never really liked the Rob Zombie. I think they went the wrong direction and try to make him human. He's called the boogeyman. He took gunshots. Why would they take that away? Like, let's just make him more human. Wasn't he walking around in a backpack? I don't know. The Rob Zombie threw me off. I didn't even watch the second one because the first one sucked so bad. I'm like, why is he walking around with a backpack? He wasn't marking people. What's he got in there? Like, I don't know, man. I don't like the way Rob Zombie was thinking. I'm glad he never made another film of it. I'm not a big fan of his music or his directing. I did like Devil's Rejects, even though that was connected to 1,000 Corpses. I didn't care for 1,000 Corpses. I felt like it was a Chainsaw Massacre ripoff without Leatherface. Like it was some weird family. You know, it was almost the same thing to me without Leatherface. Like, I didn't like that at all. Like, I felt like I was watching a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff. You can call it whatever. I mean, everybody has their own opinion on things, you know. Sometimes I like to analyze stuff and I pay attention. I mean, I don't hate a lot of movies, you know. There's a lot of movies I won't watch or I'm not into, you know. I mean, I think I might have talked to before that I am a screenplay writer, but I keep it all up here. So, like, I got 30 plus movies right in my head. And I understand what it takes to make a lot of these movies. You know, it costs a lot of money. You know what I mean? And to get certain things the way you want it, and the way, you know, the actors that you want, and whatever the case may be, it's a lot of work to make good films. I understand, so I don't really hate. It's just some things I just bothers me too much. That makes me not like it. You know, I'm actually in the background. You can't really probably see my eyes because I got my lokes out, baby. I got Evil Dead 2. Speaking of filmmaking, if anything know about the original Evil Dead franchise, man. Oh man, these movies were poorly made. They're made in the 80s or early 80s. I don't want to get into this movie too much, but I'm watching Evil Dead 2 in 4K. It's my second favorite horror film of all time, besides that Friday the 13th Part 7. If you haven't seen that video, check that video out, my Friday the 13th video. I got into Friday the 13th much as I could. I mean, all this streaming stuff's new to me, so there's a lot I probably missed or ever got into. You know, it's a work in progress. I mean, if I had somebody to talk to next to me, we'll probably get all kinds of stuff. You know, I can get their opinions and we can really chat, or I can chat with you guys. You guys need to help me get subscribers so I can go live and I can chat with you and we can talk more and I can get your opinions, you know, because my opinions are not always right. I know that. You know, I'm a grown man. A lot of my opinions are something, you know, I like to fact check a lot. You know, I like to fact check. You know, I like to know the truth on things. So sometimes my opinion is right, you know, or I feel my opinion is right. You know, I'm getting older, so, you know, I've been on this earth quite a long time. You know what I mean? I've learned a lot of things. I've done a lot of bad things when I was young, so I learned from them. Unlike most people, you know, could be locked up or something, you know, you never know. You know, I live southeastern Michigan, you know, Detroit's up the road. It's even out here in the burbs, man, it's not soft. It ain't soft. Like, there's a complex next to me. It's not the same complex, different complex. There's a lot of cats from Detroit over there. A lot of ain't many white folks over there, so you never know who can go over there. They got security over there. Yeah, but what else I want to get into today? Let me see what I got on my list here. Shoot, you guys. I wish I could talk to you guys. See, I wrote some of this for my buddy. One of my questions is, any scary stories? You know what I mean? I haven't really told any scary stories. Let me see what else I got written down here. Okay, I pretty much covered that, but I'm not done here though. I got one scary story here, another stepdad story. My stepdad was a military guy. He died at 57. He used to be military and like into martial arts. This dude he's badass. He could kick like John Clavette. He kicked the ceiling. Like he had these long kicks and he taught me how to be tough. He taught me a little bit of martial arts, not enough to like say I'm a martial artist, but I do know some things. I know a little bit. And anyway, so him being military, that military mind, and he believed in a lot of the unknown. Like ghosts and aliens. He got me into like sci-fi movies and scary movies. A lot of the reason I even enjoy Halloween in my adult age is because of him. He would dress up like I would every Halloween. He stopped doing it for a while because he had nothing to do. And I guess he used to get popped on Halloween all the time wearing his costume. He said he's been in jail numerous times in his costumes. But back in the days, he had a drinking problem. And anyway, so when he lived in that mobile home I was talking about earlier, across the street from the mobile home was like power lines. So big ass power lines basically underneath a big field, like a huge field. Well, on the other side of this field, this is probably bigger than a football field, like 200 yards. There's woods, and there was like I think it was a man-made pond, like it goes in part of the woods, and it was like a beach. So he used to take me and my brother in there swimming. We were little kids, and it was a nice little private beach. I don't know. It had like sand around the part of like the front part of the pond, and the other side was the back of the woods. And in the back of the woods, there was like a big trail that goes into the woods with like a huge old tree with like a vine where teenager and people would be swinging on it. There was like graffiti out on these trees, and there was like a bed. I don't know, heck, the bed was teenagers doing something nasty there. But he lived at like 22 mile in Shader, if you know anything about Michigan roads. Shader goes all the way to Detroit, and it's one of the main roads in Detroit. And, it goes, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 miles. Just you go up in miles, farther and far away from you get to the city. And he bought a puppy for my brother that year. And I think he was a black lab. It might have been mixed with something, but he took the puppy out there. He was trying to teach the dog to not be on a leash. So he took the puppy out there. It was late at night. So him and the puppy were walking in that field part where the power lines is. So as they're walking, I guess they got close enough where they could see the pond, so they're basically almost there. But they were still in the field. And so my stepdad saw something like this, like leaning over the water, looking like he was drinking the water. He said it was all bright white. At first he thought it was a crane. So he kind of he went in military mode. So he got down low and started creeping, He used to teach us when we were kids that I guess when you get down low to the ground at night when you see it's dark, so somebody is walking at you, you can see their outline, like the silhouette, you can see it coming, because you can see the horizon or whatever. So he kind of did that as he was creeping up to the pond. And And like all of a sudden, he went to go spark a cigarette. And as soon as he flicked his lighter, I guess this thing stood up. And basically, he said it was hovering over the water. He thought it was like a bird, you know? So he said the thing stood up and turned its head. But he said the thing was like 7 feet tall. Like when it stood up and like turned and looked at him. As soon as he hit his lighter, this thing did that. And it flew like into the woods towards that path. But it didn't make a sound. No trees crashing, nothing. He said it like just like vanished into the woods like after it saw him. So anyway, so he looked down and the dog was gone. It ran off. It ran all the way back to the mobile home. You know, it's a puppy. So it ran all the way back to the mobile home. So he turned around. It's probably night, you know, it's at night. So the dog's a black lab, so it's nighttime. He probably couldn't see it still running, but he turned around, went back looking for the dog. He found the dog sitting on a porch by the door, whimpering. It's the pouting. Like, it was scared. Like, it was scary because it saw it too. You know what I mean? So, like, I said he was an alcoholic. Now, alcoholics, you know, you can be delusional. You can hallucinate, you know, after drinking so much. And so you would think that maybe this was in his head because he was drinking. But he used to tell this story over and over again, year after year. Just how I told you the story is the same exact way he told me every single time. And the story never changed. So you knew he was sober. Because, you know, if drunk people, they'll forget and they'll change the story up and the story will change. But the story he told me was the same every time. So I believed him. You know what I mean? Like, this really happened. So when he told me, I passed this story on to friends. I'm passing it to you guys. You know what I mean? I'm making this public. Like, he passed away like 2012, I believe. God rest his soul. But yeah, that was probably one of the craziest stories I've ever heard of supernatural things. Just like with my fake mustache, I can't grow a real mustache to save my life. So there's a story that I had. I saw a UFO. On like 26 and County Line, it's like the sticks, it's country. It's all like dirt roads and woods out there, like some houses. So it was late at night. Well, not real late. It was probably like 12, 1 o'clock at night. And we were trying to smoke with my best friend, and he wasn't home. And I was with his girlfriend. She was bored. She was out here. She didn't live up by us. But she was out here. She was bored. So she called me and came got me because we were close friends too. And we went to my best friend's house to go get him because I guess he wasn't answering his phone. So we went to his house. We tried knocking his door and throwing stuff in his window. He was sound asleep, dead sleep. So me and her was like, all right, we're going to go smoke by ourselves. So she's like, you know, let's go drive in the middle of nowhere and smoke, you know, and just, you know, kind of get a little lost or whatever. We used to do that with one of my homies. We used to call it the Funky Expedition. But we used to go way out in the sticks and like the hills, and nice areas, and get lost. But we usually always knew which way to get home, you know. We know which way is north, south, east, and west, so that helps you get home. So, anyway, so me and her went out to 26 and County Line off some side dirt road. And we're going up this dirt road, and the dirt road kind of like bends like this. Like, you can't turn right, you can't go straight. The road kind of just kept going to the left, right? But we're going up this road, there's like a tree line right here. As soon as you turn, there was a house. Like a clearing, like a house, you know, and they got like property around it, like a big house and property. Well, as soon as we hit the corner, we both looked up above the house, and there was this bright light in the sky. You know, it was a big ball of light. We were like, okay, that's, you know, we didn't really say anything to each other. It's probably what we're both thinking. Well, what I was thinking. Okay, that's not a star. Okay, It's not an airplane. It's not a helicopter. It's not the moon. It's way too tiny, And it felt like it was like above the house, but like in a distance above the house, So it was a little bit back from the house, but above the house. So it was flying kind of low. And it wasn't moving. It was just this bright light of ball, like bright light. Not like an orb, It could have been an orb. What the heck do I know what it was? So anyway, but it was big, So as soon as we hit that corner, I was about to spark it up, right? Almost the same story of what my stepdad saw with the flicking of the lighter. I flicked my lighter this time. And whatever that thing in the sky, it flashed red, like over it. Not the whole thing, almost like an eye blinked, but like almost like a red shield or something. Just like it flashed red real fast, right? It did that. It hit like a zigzag pattern with zip, zip, within the speed of light. Like I took a light switch, went on and off real fast. It V'd out like that. Like I went like that with a switch. It disappeared like that. And as soon as it happened, we looked at each other and we're both like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah. My heart was fluttering, going real fast. I was like, did you see that? She goes, yeah. I was like, my heart. She's like, my heart too. So we both felt the same way. It was freaking crazy. Funny story is that this same story, almost the same thing, happened with my best friend and that girl that he was dating before this. I don't know how long before that, but they both saw a UFO together. But they said it wasn't round like I saw. They said it was more like football shape. And they said it flashed blue instead of red. I don't know. I don't remember the rest of the story. I don't know if it took off or they saw. I don't know. That's all I know. They said it looked like a football and it flashed, American football, and it flashed blue. So it's so weird that we both saw something like that with her, and like years later I joked around. I'm like, what if she was an alien or something? I'm a big Dave Matthews fan. It's one of my favorite bands. And they always play here at Michigan in the summer at Pine Knob, out Clarkston, Michigan. Really cool venue. Probably the best venue in Michigan. And we usually I always go with him to these shows. And sometimes we'll see her walking through the crowd. Like, I think I messaged her last year, like, hey, you go to Dave Matthews this year? And she never replied, but I think she always has a boyfriend or married or something. I don't know. None of us really talk to her. We both have her on her Facebook. She don't contact with her, That's his ex-girlfriend from when we were like fucking 19, 20, So we don't really know her anymore. I dated her best friend for like a year when I was like 19. Oh yeah. So I watched the original Evil Dead. Right now I see the Evil Dead. The woods are attacking a girl. I forgot they had this in the second one, like the first one. If you know about the Evil Dead, the first Evil Dead is like, the second Evil Dead is a remake of the first. And I forgot they remade this part. This part with the tree attacking a girl is way more graphic in the first one than this one. This one's cool too, but this one's made way better, man. Made way better. I think that's why they made it. It had something to do with the rights. I guess Sam Raimi is his name. He's the one that directed the first Spider-Man back in 99, 98? Everybody's favorite Spider-Man. Well, he originally did this. And I think he had trouble getting the rights to Evil Dead, so that's why he made a second one, which is basically a remake. Anyway, we're not talking about Evil Dead today. We got it on Halloween, Trying to think of any more crazy or scary stories. I got a couple. That's how more. But I was living in that mobile home park when I was a kid. It was a totally different one. When I was like 10. Well, it's actually same what I was talking about with the girl that the dad let us toilet paper her house. Anyway, when I lived in that mobile home. So my mom's boyfriend, at the time, he had two daughters that were like around my age. and they went out one night, so they were out late, so they told the girls to stay the night, and me and my brother bunked up in my bedroom, and they bunked up in my brother's bedroom, so we were in a different bedroom. So they left us alone. So we're up hanging out, watching movies and stuff, being kids. And if you know anything about mobile homes and trailers, some of them had back doors. This is the 80s, so a lot of them had back doors. And a back door swung open. We didn't know at first. So we're all sitting there watching TV or just talking, whatever we were doing. All of a sudden we heard a noise, like a bang, like a big bang. So the back, we didn't know at first, but the back door flew open, and it like hit the side of the mobile home and made a big bang. So we all jumped. We didn't know what it was, so we all jumped up. We got scared. So whatever was near us, we grabbed as like weapons. I think I grabbed like a VHS tape, if you remember what a VHS tape is. So we just grabbed whatever's closest. There was no good weapons near us, so we just grabbed up. So everybody's scared, and I'm the oldest guy. So they sent me in there first. So like push me, go look, go look back there. I'm like, hey, is anybody in there? I'm scared as shit, man. I was 10 years old. What am I do, a grown ass man, because of their weapon or something? What am I gonna do? I'm like, hey, is anybody in there? And like, oh, so I go back there and I creep around the corner. I see the door wide open. It scared the shit out of me. I'm thinking somebody's inside. I'm like, somebody's in the house. I'm like, we're about to call 911. So I kept yelling and yelling. I didn't hear nothing. I was like, man. So I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, earlier that day, I was dicking around. I was doing some kid shit. And I went out the back door earlier that day. Like during the day when my mom was around. And I think I forgot to close that back door all the way. So I think the wind actually pushed the door open, because there was nobody in the house. I ended up looking all over the house, but I remember how scared I was, dude. I was 10 years old. What am I going to do, So anyway, what was my other story? Oh, yeah. If anybody knows about rave parties, I used to go to rave parties in Detroit. And I wasn't big into drugs or anything like that. But we went to this rave party. Yeah, I think it was out Woodward or something. It was like one of them. It was like a club, but a rave. It was like a rave club. We were friends with my friend Devin. Shout out Devin. She was dating some guy that was in this rave company, whatever, promoter, called One World back in the day. And they used to run the biggest raves in Detroit. And I think they ran that club called Club Better Days. And I think that was Club Better Days. So anyway, you walk in a room, like a hallway, and there's, like, you walk in this hallway, this is a small old factory or something, or old building or whatever. Excuse me. So there's a door here, a door here, and a door here when you walk in this hallway. This goes to each room. And each room had different types of electronic music. One had like house, trance, just regular techno. So you walk in and you pick whatever room you want to go into. I think the trance room was like, smaller, had a couch, people were trancing out in there, like the house room and the techno room or whatever, or bigger or whatever. 'Cause house and techno was bigger than trance back in the day. House is the biggest thing back in like the late 90s, early 90s when it came to electronic music. So anyway, I was completely sober, okay? I walked in this, I don't party like a rock star anymore, I drink pop now. So I walked in there, and as soon as I walked in this room, trying to figure out what room I'm going to, I hear somebody whisper in my ear, where all the children go? Just like that, but like whisper. So I turn around and see who was there. There was nobody there. There was nobody. It might have been earlier in the day, so there wasn't a lot of people at the rave yet. But like when I was in that little room, there was nobody in that room but me. So I turned around real quick. As soon as somebody said that, because I thought somebody was whispering in my ear. As soon as I turned around, there was nobody there. I turned around, looking around. I'm like, nobody's in this room. There ain't no way they were fast enough for me to just turn my head and just run off. Because I would have caught them like running in the other room. So I'm like, what the heck is that? Detroit's an old city. So, It's haunted. I think there was a ghost, straight up, whispered that in my ear. Because I was by myself, so it made sense. Where the children go. You know, it was mostly kids at these raves. And it's like, what the hell just happened? I don't think I ended up telling anybody that night. Because it didn't register at first. I think I ended up telling my friends this story later on. But I remember after that, I went to the bathroom and that was it. But yeah, that was weird, bro. That was weird as shit, dude. Oh, now you can really see it. It's getting darker here. Hope you guys can see me. Well, there's some light here. Yeah, look, now you can see my pumpkin glowing now. Oh yeah, the candle's lit better. Must be more oxygen. Probably for me talking. Oh, this one's still got a little flame. You can't see it. So I want to break it down for what I'm doing tonight, kind of. What I've been doing the last three years, I'd say. So this neighborhood we go into is a nice part of Mount Clemens. It's like, if you know anything about Michigan, there's a lot of old Michigan houses. Mount Clemens has been around since like 1818, one of the oldest cities in Michigan. And so like it's a lot of old houses and stuff. Well, this part of the neighborhood I'm going tonight is a really nice neighborhood. It's like a piece of like, I don't know, one of the rich towns, cities in Michigan, like Rochester Hills. Not super rich, not like mansions or anything, just big old nice houses, you know, no mansion, not like Grosse Pointe or anything. Grosse Pointe is like rock stars and sports players live, like mansions on the water. Nothing like that, but big houses, mind you. So when one of my other best friends, he has kids, and when they were kids, we used to take them in his neighborhood trick or treating because one of our close friends lived in this neighborhood because we were over his house like every day. That was our hangout spot, you know, in that neighborhood. He lived in one of the crappier homes, but that neighborhood like is so nice. So we used to take his kids trick or treating in that neighborhood, but now they're all grown. You know, they're all grown. I don't know if they might watch my videos. I don't know. I really even know who follows right now. I haven't even looked. I don't know who's following or subscribed right now, but anyway, so a couple years ago, it was like 80 degrees. It was pushing 80 degrees on Halloween. I remember it rained all day. And as soon as it started getting dark, when the trick-or-treaters started, it stopped raining and it got warmer out. It was like 80 degrees. It was like the warmest Halloween ever. So everybody was out. So me and my best friends like, hey, why don't we just go walk around that neighborhood and, you know what I mean, go see what's going on. You know, it's something to do. So his kids were grown, so we couldn't take the kids. So we went and just walked around and we had a blast. So 2 years ago, I think, I kind of talked about them trick-or-treating for beers or whatever. Shaggy and a Creep. So I decided to trick-or-treat for beers. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier in this episode. Yeah, so I like come up to random people and just ask for beers and liquor. Like, when I was like in fifth grade, I don't know if you guys had this, you know, some of you youngsters caught DARE as a program against doing drugs, and usually cops, like an officer would come teach the class. Well, I went to this house, and like they had a what do you call it, horseshoe driveway, and I walked up there and I was like, man, let's see if this house has any beers. It wasn't a big home, but I walked up, and it was sure enough, it was my DARE teacher. He was an ex-police officer. He looked the same, but like all white hair. And I recognized, like, it's Officer Murphy that caught him. I was like, Officer Murphy. He looked, I was like, you used to teach DARE when I was in fifth grade. He's like, wow, really? I was like, yeah, Chesterfield, Michigan, because I lived out there for a minute. He's like, no shit. Like, his face lit up. Like, he got all like, I remember you. He got all happy. And he was drinking on something. I forgot. And I go, I go, you got like kidding around? You got a shot for me? He's a cop, or an ex-cop. He's like, sure. It's like, I did a shot. His whole family was sitting there, like his wife and his kids. He had like kids that were grown, like out there passing out candy. And I was sitting there cracking jokes. I was like, yeah, here I am doing a shot with the guy that used to teach me not to drink and do drugs. They were cracking up, dude. They were laughing. It was awesome, bro. I'm gonna go up to him again, see if he still is there. I was gonna say hi. Screw it. He was a nice guy, dude. I'm not gonna ask him any liquor this time, but I'll say what's up. He's like, hey, remember me? I was dressed like Luke Skywalker, like from the newer Star Wars, old man Luke, Grandmaster Jedi Skywalker. He might not remember me this time. The way I'm dressed. But yeah, that neighborhood was awesome. There's one house at the end of the driveway. They got a little, one of those canopy tents, small canopy tent. And at the end of their driveway, they had a bar laid out there, with bottles of liquor out there. And I'm looking, and I said, oh, they're giving out liquor. So I walked in, I was like, how much? And they're like, oh, free. I'm like, free? I'm like, sign me up. And I was like, oh, give me that, give me this. Oh, they were cool, man. I was like, what? I'm like, I ain't never seen this before. Even when I was, whatever. That was freaking cool. So I hope that was last year. I hope that's out there this year. I believe that's the same street as that Morass Street I was telling y'all about. I think I told you guys. Well, it's like the one corner, the end of the corner, like all the houses right there are decked out. They got a cloud house. Guy's got like a hearse and a body. I think I showed it in one of my shorts. Yeah, it's in one of my shorts. It's got a big cloud head, like for the walkway to their door. And I think I showed the hearse. I don't know what was going on in the hearse. It was like a fake corpse in there and stuff. Pretty cool, man. So that's where I'm gonna be at. There's another house in one of my shorts. They had like the fake guys hanging from the tree with skeletons that lit up. There's a lot of cool stuff in that house. I'm gonna do another short. Wish y'all a happy Halloween. At another house on that street just to show you if it comes out in the dark. It's gonna be packed out. There's gonna be a lot of kids. It's not raining or anything. I think high of 49, which is straight for Halloween night. Usually raining and freezing. Sometimes snow, drizzle, mixture. Like that one year was 80. Was luck. A couple weeks ago, it was really nice here in Michigan. It just started getting cold. But I think I'm going to sign off for here. And I won't be on next weekend. I'm going to take a break next weekend. I'm going to come up with some more material for you guys. Please like and subscribe. My videos should get better and better. More you guys help me, more you guys help me, more I'll help you guys with entertainment. I mean, I'm going to make this a big platform. I'm not going to be here on a couch forever or bottom of a table. We're going to make this a real stream. I'm just, like I said in my first video, I'm starting from the bottom, working my way up. I'm not going to say that stupid song. Don't make me. I'm old school, baby. Obviously, I'm Easy motherfucking E, Speaking of that, my favorite Eazy-E song is probably Real Motherfucking G's or Boys in the Hood, or his last track was a Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack. Gangsta Lead, I don't know the song title, but it was the Beverly Hills Cop 3 soundtrack. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.